Kate.
Sounds good.
Melinda, are you decorating a cake right now? Oh no, Rochelle.
Not a cake. I'm doing like a giant cookie, like just for fun. This is where I'm at so far.
Oh, that's so
cool.
cool.
No,
That's
I'm
so cool.
hungry.
Yeah, me too.
No, the weather's crazy. With yesterday was like I actually broke out my Birkenstocks.
I
And
know, it was so nice.
today is freezing and I want a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, hopefully the sunshine returns very
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
Mhm. I might add some links
Yeah.
to the chat now.
Yeah, that works perfectly.
Mhm.
All right, we're at noon, so I'll watch the waiting room here for you, Kate. But
Okay.
we have a few names who I recognize and a few new people, so that's wonderful. I'm so happy everyone's here. This is a new approach to these webinars where this is going to be a little more interactive workshop style versus a presentation. I mean, there's a presentation as well, but so I'm really excited. I find this is a really big gap with small business owners really not knowing if their brand is working for them and serving them or not. And so I'm really hopeful that you're going to give some really good insight into how to assess and all of those fun things and what to do from there. So with that, obviously, hi, Kate, welcome back. This is number 3 for you, I think. And obviously your face, everyone should recognize from Instagram and all of that. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Kate, and let you do your thing.
Sure thing. Thank you, Meredith, and hello, everybody. I'm so excited you're joining me today for the brand audit workshop. So I'll get right into it. This is going to be sort of like Meredith said, an interactive workshop. So I'll be presenting and like providing you some information and helping guide you through it. But ultimately, we'll be needing you to do a bit of work. So hello, if you don't know me, I'm Kate. I'm the owner of Field & Co. Creative Agency, boutique branding and web agency. We build unforgettable brands that support passionate founders. So step 1 is that I need you to download the worksheet. So if you pop into the chat, there's a link there, a Google Drive link, and you can download the worksheet from there. Does everyone see that link in the chat? Okay, awesome. So if you can go there and then download that to your computer, it's a PDF, and then we'll want to open that up in either Adobe Acrobat or Adobe Reader, or if you have a different like PDF viewer that you can complete forms with on your computer, that works, that's totally fine. If you don't have Adobe Acrobat, you can get Adobe Reader for free. I also put a link to that in the chat. Sorry, was someone trying to say something there?
Stop. No.
Oh, it seems like someone needs to be muted.
Yep, I'll look for you.
Okay, thanks. All right, so for the brand audit workshop, this is for small business owners, entrepreneurs and founders, or brand leaders of larger organizations. So the purpose of this workshop is to assess the current state of your visual brand identity, identify any areas for improvement or growth, to create a plan of action, and to build a brand that you're actually proud of that will help you grow. So what you need to have ready are the worksheet that you just downloaded in a PDF viewer / like filler outer, your logo files. So hopefully you have a folder that's titled logo files and has different colors and different file formats. Ideally, we'll probably just need a PNG file format version of your logos. your brand guidelines document that includes your color palette details. So those hex codes, which are the like hashtag and 6 letters and numbers, your brand font. And then if you want to have this up, it's sort of like your marketing material. So you could just like have your Instagram feed open, maybe your Canva open, just so we can gauge like the vibe of your marketing material. So this is a disclaimer. This workshop is in beta mode. Ideally, I'm going to be packaging this up and selling it as a product. So I would love to gather your feedback at the end of how you enjoyed it, what you think could be changed, that sort of thing. So I will be providing you with a feedback form at the end. So just keep that in mind and bear with me if there's any bumps in the road. You're the first to see this, so I'm hoping that it all works perfectly. All right, so does everybody have their worksheet open and ready to go? If anyone needs help, unmute yourself and let me know.
I didn't realize this, Kate, but I guess you can't scroll back to the beginning of a chat if you've joined after it was sent.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it looks, I have 2 more people, so I'm just copying and pasting so that they can.
Oh, okay.
So for the new, sorry, I'm trying to do too many things at once. Here you go. You're going to need to do download that and that to be able to participate today. So everyone should have, oh, we have more people joining. Did you know that links you couldn't see it?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I wonder if there's a way
know.
you can change it so that everyone can see it.
Okay, Cheryl, I see you've joined, so I'm sending those links. Okay, there we go. Okay, we should be good. Sorry, that's just going to take a sec there. Is everyone
Okay.
on to see the links?
Okay. Should we move forward? Okay, awesome. I don't want to leave anybody behind, but if you have any questions, pop them in the chat and we can get those answered for you. All right, so in the worksheet, actually, I have a bit of information I want to share first. So your brand is so much more than just the logo, and this is something you've probably heard before. So your brand is so much more than just the logo. It is your values and your mission, your consistency in visuals and messaging, basically how everything you do as a brand comes together to create consistency. It's building trust and credibility within your audience, because the number one factor to influence a purchasing decision is trust. It's about creating a unique brand voice and personality and reflecting your brand's story or how you got started and evoking specific feelings or associations and differentiating yourself from competitors in the industry, because we know that that is a huge thing, especially with being online. And it's also about reflecting your personality and your style. So because branding encompasses a multitude of strategic elements, there's like so many things that go into building a brand. It's so ongoing. Today's session will focus specifically on your visual branding, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about what that is in a second. So we're going to work on essential visual aspects like your logos, fonts, and colors. And I want to acknowledge that we may only scratch the surface today. This is by no means a full comprehensive solution and the 100% right answer. So your visual brand is your colors, your font, your logos. That's what we're going to cover today. But it's also layout, shapes you use within your brand imagery, patterns, icons, and just the overall aesthetic and feeling around your brand. So if certain items that we discussed today aren't directly applicable to you and your brand, feel free to skip them. And remember that a brand is a continuous work in progress. It's always evolving, growing, and adapting, and you should continuously be revisiting what's working and what's not. So if you're ready to enhance your brand's visual identity, let's do this. One thing I forgot to say, if you have a second monitor or your laptop and a phone, that'll be really helpful so you can see this presentation and the worksheet at the same time. So what I would suggest if you have a second monitor is to have one up on either one. If you've just got your laptop and your phone, I would open up that worksheet on your phone. So you could probably open up, I'm not sure exactly how it would work on your phone, but there's probably a way that like an iPhone opens a PDF and you can edit it. Okay, so the first thing, if you are seeing the presentation and the worksheet, is the essential branding material checklist. So there is a quiz. So in the worksheet, you'll see a button that says Access Quiz. You can click there and it'll take you into Typeform. I will also send the link in the chat here just in case anyone wants to grab it there. So in this quiz, we're going to be, you can get started on it anytime. I'll talk through you working on that. So we're going to explore some essential elements that form the basis of your visual brand identity. So this material checklist is going to make sure that you have all the things in place that you need to get started. So it's going to ask you about your logos, the specific files you have, and like lockup of the logo that you have. It's going to ask you about your colors, font, and your overall brand perception. So go through the quiz and then you're going to get a score at the end. At the end, when you have that score, pop back into the worksheet and you can record the score in there. So it'll just be like a number from 1 to 6. And then when you're finished, come back to Zoom and pop a thumbs up so I know that everybody is ready to move forward. And if you have any questions or want some help determining the correct answer in the quiz, if you want me to look at something, let me know. Okay, we've got a bunch of thumbs up and we have some awesome scores here. That's great. You can share your score if you want, but you totally do not have to. Is anybody still working through it? Okay. All right, so let's go through the next part. So based on the questions that you were asked in the quiz you just took and your score, I want you to go to the next page on the worksheet and reflect on that. There's a section there where you can pop any notes or like brainstorm, and then there's action steps. So you can put no action steps here. You can put one or two or three that you want to take to be able to get a higher score the next time you take this quiz. So you can think about things like, where did my brand excel, or where are areas that need improvement? You can think about actionable steps like, do we need to create different variations of your logo? Do you need to update your brand guidelines? Do you need to reach out to the person who designed your logo and ask them for any additional information? Do you need to start from scratch and rebuild and hire somebody to come in and help you with your branding? So if you have action steps, add them there. And then basically what this will do is there's a page at the end of the worksheet that has a full action plan, and whatever you pop into the action steps here, it's going to populate it at the end of the worksheet, so that at the end of this, you walk away with an like up to 12 actionable steps that you can take to improve your brand. So you can go ahead and do that. And then again, pop into the chat with a thumbs up, or you can just do like the reaction thumbs up. So that just like comes up on your little video here, either way. Any questions, by the way? Is everybody finished? Okay. All right, I'm gonna move forward. So the next section, which you'll see in the worksheet, is the branding pitfalls assessment. So it's another quiz just like the other one, but this one's going to talk about common mistakes that we see business owners making with their brand. So whether things are outdated or trendy, that sort of thing, to make sure that your brand is effectively communicating your value and stands out for all the right reasons. So you can click on the quiz and then come back to the worksheet again and record your rating. And then, of course, let us know when you're done with a thumbs up. I should have put some like music or something in the in-betweens here. Okay, it looks like people are finishing up here. So then we're going to do the same thing that we did with the last one. We're going to record our rating in the worksheet and then give yourself a bit of an assessment on anything you might have learned or identified throughout the quiz. So reflect on what you've identified, what common mistakes have you noticed in your branding, and where can you improve? So let's define some specific improvement goals for your brand. Maybe you need to update some of your visual elements, such as your colors or imagery. Maybe you need to simplify your logo. Maybe you need to change your brand font. And maybe that requires reaching out again to the person who designed your brand, or doing some more brainstorming and research on what is best for your brand. So let's do the notes and then some action steps for that as well. And I'll give you a minute or two to do that. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next section. So the next section is a bit different. There's no quiz for this one. It's a logo readability test. So effective branding includes logos that are clear and legible, even when they're scaled down to really small sizes. So this is why it's really essential to have multiple logo lockups within your brand, because a logo that looks good at a huge size is not going to be the same as a logo that looks good at like a really tiny size. The main area where I see that this is an issue is on websites. So, in the browser tab, how we have the little icon that comes up beside the name of our website, that's called a favicon. And oftentimes people's icon logo or just their main logo gets put there and is completely illegible or skewed disproportionately and can really hurt your brand perception. So basically what I want you to do in this section is we're going to upload our logos into the PDF. So you should be able to click on the image and then browse, find a PNG file or a JPEG of your primary logo for the first two, and then I believe it's your icon logo for the last three. So you can upload those and then they'll be popped into the PDF at that size, and you can rate it based on how readable every element within your logo is. So I've given you a few options here, or some examples on the presentation, and I did design all of these logos, so I'm not bashing anybody on the not readable side, by the way. I designed them just a while ago, and I've learned since. So on the left-hand side, we have some logos that are clear and readable at this size. And then you can see on the section where it says not readable, how there's elements in here that are too small to be read at the size that they're at. So that's just to give you like a frame of reference for what I mean by readable and not readable. Is there any questions on this? Okay, cool. If you have any trouble like uploading or anything like that, let me know. I'll give you a minute to do that then, and then we'll move on. to move on to the next section. So the next part of the worksheet is a brand personality assessment. So we know that a brand is more than just a logo. We established that it's a reflection of your values, your personality traits, emotions that you want to evoke within your audience, and other things that define your business's character. So if we defining your brand descriptors for your brand personality is really crucial because they serve as the foundation for how your audience perceives and connects with your brand. So these descriptors, whether they are visual descriptors or more like feelings-based descriptors, will shape the overall experience and impression that your brand leaves on customers. So this will inform things like your overall like visual aesthetic, your tone of voice in your copywriting, and things like that. So in this activity, you'll identify 5 of your key brand descriptors that encapsulate your brand personality. So they could range from characteristics like bold and playful and friendly, or they could be like feelings-based attributes like excitement, nostalgia, and relatability. In the worksheet, there's some examples there that you can use, but please don't feel limited to those, whatever you feel your brand is known for. So on the left side, you will define your 5 key descriptors and then reflect on how your current brand identity aligns with each of those descriptors by giving it a rating from 1 to 6. So is your brand effectively communicating your intended personality traits to your audience to allow them to connect with you on a personal level? So when I'm talking about your visual brand, again, we're talking about your colors, font, your personality, your imagery, and the overall aesthetic of your brand. Are all of those things working for you to communicate that personality? This is part where I want you to be really honest and try to be unbiased. I know it's kind of hard to do this reflection for ourselves, though. And if anybody wants any help or feedback, let me know. Okay, let's go to the next part of this. So again, we're going to do a plan of action. So now that you have sort of a rating of how well you're meeting all the intended brand personality traits that you have, you can turn those into actionable steps for your brand. So where are your strengths? Where are opportunities for improvement? What can you update to make all of those a 6? Maybe you need to target to a different audience. Maybe you need to strengthen some consistency. Maybe you need to change your colors or just overall aesthetic to better reflect that brand personality. So with the actionable steps, maybe it could be something like change blue to yellow to better reflect my warm personality or something like that. let's go to the next step. So the next step is a competitor comparison. So understanding the competitive landscape for your business is really important to shape your brand strategy and to help you stand out in the market. So there's two different types of competitors. We have direct competitors. These are businesses that offer the same service or product as you do in the same area. Or we can have indirect competitors. And these are businesses that have a different product or service, but it could substitute what you're offering and still satisfy your client's needs. So we're going to do a competitor analysis to give us some valuable insights into what other people in the industry are doing, how they position themselves, and what strategies they're using. So this can help us to identify gaps in the market that we can fill as our brand. We can learn from the successes and possibly mistakes that others are doing to refine our own brand. It'll help us to differentiate and highlight our uniqueness and to stay informed about what's going on in the industry and what clients want. So for this activity, we'll want to gather logos from 4 of our competitors. Ideally, these would be our direct competitors. If you can't find 4 direct competitors, indirect will work as well. So we're going to identify 4 of those competitors and visit their website or their marketing materials, so maybe their social media, to locate their logos. So hopefully at the top of their website, they have their logo. And you can just right click and save as, and then you can save that image logo file to your computer. Or if you can't do that and you find it maybe on an Instagram post or somewhere else on their website and you can't right click and save it, you could screenshot it. So if you're on a Mac, you hit Command Shift 4, and then you can click and drag to screenshot that, and then it'll save as the image file on your computer. So we'll want to do that. And then once we've got all of the images of our competitors' logos saved on our computer, we can pop into the worksheet. And then just like we did in the logo readability, we're going to click on the image, browse, and then upload those logo files into the PDF so that we can see them all together. And then what you can do beside each one of those competitor logos is there's a text box, and you can make some reflections, draw some comparisons between your branding and theirs. We can talk about maybe you're using the same colors as them, maybe your fonts are similar, maybe they are using say you're a realtor and they have a house icon in their logo, and you're a realtor and you also have a house icon in your logo. That would be an interesting comparison to make, because ultimately we want to do things differently than our competition in order to reflect our unique vibe. So yeah, is there any questions on this part? I know it might take a minute to go through and grab all those logo files. Okay. I'm going to move on. Also, just an FYI that you will receive this presentation and like the worksheet file afterwards. So if I'm moving too quickly and you need to go back through, you can rewatch the presentation and pause when you need to. So again, we're going to do the plan of action step from the competitor comparison. So we've identified where we are maybe similar to our competitors. We can identify what they're doing well or not. And then with the action steps, we can leverage those insights. So maybe you need to update your colors to stand out. Maybe you need to incorporate some more unique imagery into your logo. Maybe your fonts look so similar to what your competition is doing and we need to update those. So you can create some action steps here. I'm just going to move forward and not wait on this one. So what you'll have at the end is your visual brand improvement plan of action. So at the end of the PDF, what should have happened if everything works as it's intended to, and I made it work perfectly. The last page will have a compilation of all of the notes that you did. So in the plan of action steps throughout, where you had like the notes and brainstorming section, that should be consolidated to the end. And then we'll also have a rating. So all of those number ratings that you did that were like 1 to 6, we'll calculate to give you an overall rating for where your brand is currently scoring. So you should have a number out of 72, I believe, and then all your notes compiled. And then on the next page, we'll have 12 or less action steps that we can take sort of as a starting point. So what I would encourage you to do is take those actionable steps and break them down into smaller steps, smaller tasks, so you can actually implement them. So just remember that there are no right answers, and this is not an exact science. You can take what works, leave what doesn't. You can try something, and if that doesn't work, you can change it. So just like experiment, have fun, and see what sticks. I always say that it's kind of like throwing spaghetti at a wall, right? And you see what sticks. So you can use this plan of action to as a starting point to start to improve and enhance your brand and bring it closer to the goals you have. So what's next here? Yeah, maybe you need to like reach out to someone for support. Maybe you need a social media manager that can help you to compile all of the things you already have and make it better on social media. Maybe you need to start from scratch and hire a branding designer. Maybe you just need like a VIP day with a designer to massage some details. Maybe you can DIY some stuff that maybe you just need to change one thing here or there and you're fully capable of doing that. And just remember that your brand journey is unique and every step forward counts towards growth and success, and good things take time. Is there any questions that anybody has about branding in general, about this workshop, about your logo, anything?
Kate, that was really, really good.
Thank you. Yeah. VIP. So a VIP day, a lot of designers offer that. It'll be like a set amount of hours. So it's usually like one day, and there'll be specific tasks designers offer that you could do with them. So some designers offer like a mini brand or like a brand refresh, or maybe it's just like creating some content or updating your website, that sort of thing. Are there any other questions? All right.
Yes. All right.
Awesome. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks, Kate. Oh,
yeah. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was just going to say thank you so much for going through this workshop. Like I said, this is the first time I'm doing this, so I would so appreciate it if I could gather your feedback. I'm going to send you a link to yet another Typeform quiz. So hopefully you can get into that. And if you would provide me your feedback, that would be lovely. If you want it to be anonymous, you can make it anonymous, and please be nice to me, but also honest.
Perfect. Well, I really appreciate this. I think this was really helpful. And even as someone like in this unique perspective where I speak to people who may or may not need branding, this has armed me with some questions to ask so that they can almost
Mhm.
self-assess
Right.
versus me telling them. So,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really powerful too, to like give people the tools to figure it out for themselves, and then arm them with that information so that when they're ready to take the next step, they have kind of come to that conclusion on their own, like unidentified problem areas.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll be
Awesome.
putting the replay together, and I'm gonna have to snag the links from you again there, Kate. So
Yep,
cool.
no problem.
All right. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Enjoy your afternoon.